that why are they so angry? Some people, when you hear them, you feel, wow, he's so friendly. He or she is so friendly. When you listen to someone, you feel, itna serious kyun hai? Right? I'm sure you must have felt like that when you hear people for the first time. Now, actually, the person may not be serious, the person may not be unhappy, the person may not be actually happy also. But then it's the tone. It is something that is natural. So when someone hears my voice, they feel that why is she always so angry or why is she always so serious when actually I am smiling, but still it sounds like serious kind of voice. So that is tone, a friendly tone, irritated tone, and angry tone, right? Something like that. Then you have volume. The volume, that is the level at which I am talking. Is it a very soft kind of a voice that I have, or is it a very harsh kind of a voice that I have? Is the volume at which I speak loud or medium or low kind of voice? That is called the volume. Then you have speed with which we speak. Normally, one of the misconceptions is that if someone speaks English very fast, it is a sign of fluency. Actually, that is a wrong way of thinking, because any language is meant to communicate. If the other person cannot understand what you are trying to say, it is no communication at all. So, dear students, please keep this in mind. Whatever language you use, always speak with clarity and always speak in such a way. It should not be too fast, it should not be too slow. You should speak in such a way that the other person can understand you properly. Then you have something called non-fluencies or inconsistencies. Non-fluencies or inconsistencies are like, I'm sure you must have heard speakers making such sounds many a times. Sometimes even teachers do that, right? Normally, these are called non-fluencies or inconsistencies. That is, when you're speaking and you keep repeating terms like, you know, you understand, do you understand? Or something, making sounds like, these kind of sounds, actually these are called inconsistencies or fluencies. In a professional scenario, these should be avoided, because normally what happens, I'm sure when you listen to the sounds that I made, even you are smiling or giggling or laughing over there while listening to this lecture. Now this is what happens, that the listeners have a good time, they enjoy all that music. So this is something that should be avoided, at least in a professional scenario, and this comes with a lot of practice. Then you have pauses, because we need to breathe. We cannot speak and inhale simultaneously. That's a very, common sense kind of a thing. So obviously we need to inhale in between when we are speaking. So pauses are a must. Now these pauses, apart from inhaling, it gives us time to breathe in, but at the same time, pauses also give meaning to what we speak. Like for example, if I speak in this way, forms of communication are two types, non-verbal and verbal communication. Verbal communication are written and spoken form of English, and non-verbal communication is kinetic proximity. Did you understand anything? There was no pause in between, right? It's very difficult to understand a person if the person does not take small pauses in between while speaking. Pauses are very important to give clarity to what the speaker speaks, right? Now, silence. What is silence? It is a long pause or no communication at all. So, silence, now again, silence culturally has different meanings. So, according to some cultures, silence can mean agreement. According to some cultures, silence can mean anger. According to some cultures, silence can mean sadness. According to some cultures, silence can mean disagreement. So it is always better to ask the other person, clarify with the silent person what exactly the person is trying to communicate. We should never interpret the other person's silence in whatever way we like. So we were looking at paralanguage, where what is paralanguage is vocalics, our vocal characteristics. minus words, whenever we speak, minus the words, there is a lot our vocal characteristics tell about us, about our personality. So I'm sure that when you are listening to me, even if you can't see me, suppose you can't see me, but when you're listening to my voice, still you can make out, yes, this seems to be the voice of a teacher, right? So vocal characteristics also communicate a lot. They tell us a lot about the personality of the person who is speaking. So this is another type of nonverbal communication. Then we have the next type of nonverbal communication, which is called the sign language. Now, sign language can be in the form of signs and symbols, or they can be in the form of sounds. So if you look at the first picture that I have here, I have my pointer. Yes, you have guessed it right. It's an ambulance. Now, suppose you are going on the road and you are on your two-wheeler and you are driving, and how do you make out that there's an ambulance coming behind you? Yes, you are right. By the siren, right? There is a siren that is ringing, and at the same time there is a red light. You see, on the top of every ambulance, or even the government officials, police vans, they have this red colored light that keeps, flickering when they are on duty. So if there is an ambulance that is coming behind you, even suppose if there is a deaf person who cannot hear the siren, the sound that the ambulance is making, but still they can make out by this red light that it is an emergency situation and they have to give way to the ambulance. Right? So the ambulance, it has this sign also. As you can see, this cross, this red colored cross plus sign, what does it indicate? Yes, it indicates any kind of medical facility or hospital. And apart from that, an ambulance also has a red color bulb on the top. If it is on, you have to understand that there's a patient inside and it's an emergency situation. Apart from that, they also ring a siren so that people can immediately recognize that it's an emergency situation and they give way to an ambulance, right? Apart from that, I'm sure you must have seen signs like this one, and this one. What is this? Yes, it is a no smoking zone. Most of the public areas, public buildings, legislative assemblies, schools, colleges, you would come across symbol like that is no smoking. You're not allowed to smoke in those places, right? Then what does this indicate? At some places on the road, you must have seen this, that stop, you're not allowed to enter here. On certain roads, where there are narrow spaces, this kind of sign is put. Or if there is a railway track where there is no road, you are not allowed to go there. So there is this kind of sign that is put. It means that stop, you cannot enter here. Then this one, it indicates the American Red Cross, as already the name suggests over there. Red Cross, they have this flag also. Actually, this is the flag of Red Cross, which is it's a kind of voluntary organization, a part and parcel of UNO. And then we have sign language. Also, we have the mathematical symbols, which you can recognize here. You have a plus sign, a minus sign, an is equal to sign, a divided by sign, right? And then one of the most common ones that we are very fond of breaking rules is the traffic signpost. What does the traffic signpost indicate? It has three colors. It has the red color, it has the yellow color, and it has the green color. What does the red color indicate? It indicates that you have to stop. Then the yellow color indicates what? Wait, be ready, but wait. And the green indicates that you are allowed to go. So do we follow the traffic rules? Right? We should follow the traffic rules. So this is sign language. Apart from sign language, there is another form of nonverbal communication, which is called chronemics. Chronemics is the science of usage of time. Chronemics is the communication, the way we use our time. Each one of us has 24 hours of day with us, right? Even if we don't have money in our pockets, but still we are rich because we have 24 hours of the day with us. So how we use or how we spend these 24 hours of the day tells a lot about us, about the kind of persons we are. So if I am someone who is very fond of sleeping till 10 o'clock in the morning and then waking up at 11 o'clock, rushing to the school, and then coming back, I go and play, don't finish my homework, next day I am punished, right? What does it indicate? That I am a lazy, careless person, right? And throughout the year, I behave in this way. I sleep, eat, play, enjoy myself, and during examinations, I am tensed up because I have not studied, and as a result of which, because I don't know anything, I have not written anything on the paper, and I failed. Now, why I failed? Because it's a direct indication of how I used my time. I have been lazy, I have been procrastinating, and I have been disinterested in my day-to-day studies, which I should have been doing. I have been disinterested in during the classes when teachers were teaching. So as a result of which, what has happened with me? It's a disaster. I fail. But I'm sure all of you are very good students. You must be studying regularly. Studying regularly means what? How you're using your time. You wake up early. You spend some time studying. You go to school regularly. Pay attention to what the teachers are teaching in the class. Maintain your notes. Finish your homework in time. Spend some time to play, right? And you study regularly, as a result of which you not only enjoy your life, but also during examinations you are not tensed up about finishing your course, finishing your study, because you have been studying. During one day before the exam, you only revise things and you are ready for examination and you score well. So it shows that you are a studious, hardworking, and a sincere student, right? So chronemics, that is time language, how we use time, also indicates a lot about the kind of person we are. So how are we going to use our time now? Obviously, I'm sure that all of you want to be known as a hardworking, sincere student. So what you should be doing right now, from now onwards, you should be using your time effectively. So what you can do is, a suggestion is, you can make a timetable. You can just spend 2 hours of studying every day. Maybe even if you play for 3 hours later on, at least you have been studying regularly, so that will help you in getting good marks, right? So you should be doing that. Now, going back to the proverb that we started with when we were discussing nonverbal communication. If you remember that I had written a quote, proverb over there, actions speak louder than words. So when I am talking to you about verbal nonverbal communication, and just look at my face right now, how I am expressing. I am enjoying teaching this lecture very much. Do you really think that I'm enjoying with this kind of a face that I made just now? No, it does not. Why? But what I said in words is I'm enjoying, is it not? But do you really think that I'm enjoying? I know you must be saying that no, it doesn't look as if you are enjoying, right? So, but right now when I say I'm enjoying teaching, I enjoyed a lot delivering this lecture. I hope that it is very useful in your curriculum. Now, yes, this indicates I have a smile on my face, I am sitting straight, I am talking to you with lot of interest. Especially the smile on my face indicates that yes, I am genuinely enjoying delivering this lecture, teaching you forms of communication. But the same thing I say with a frown on my face that I am enjoying this lecture very much. This indicates what? That whatever words I am using, they are not true, right? I'm telling a lie that I'm enjoying this lecture. So our facial expressions, our body language, the kind of posture that we have, the kind of clothes that we wear, the kind of overall physical appearance that you have, the kind of spacing and distancing that you maintain when you're talking with people, all of these aspects, all these different types of nonverbal communication, they tell a lot more about you as an individual than the words you use. When I say the words you use, what do I mean? Than verbal communication, it is nonverbal communication which reveals the true personality of a person. Therefore, it is very true to say that actions speak louder than words. Whenever you communicate, you have to be careful that when you communicate, if you want to say that you are happy when you meet a person, it's nice meeting you, how are you? whatever you say, the words should match with the kind of non-verbal communication that you show. Because normally when we meet a person for the first time, the first thing that we notice in a person is his or her non-verbal communication. What is non-verbal communication? All these different types. What is it that we are noticing? We notice the body language and posture of the person. We notice the facial expressions the person has when the person is talking with us. Then if the person is using words, then the words, we pay more attention to the kind of tone, the kind of voice, the kind of the volume with which the person speaks, the speed with which a person speaks. These are all paralanguage, aspects of paralanguage that we focus on. Apart from that, the kind of signs, gestures that the person is making, we are focusing on all these. So we need to be extremely careful about all aspects of our nonverbal communication when we are communicating. Of course, that does not mean I'm not discounting on the fact that words are not important. We need to be careful with both of them, but especially we need to be more careful with our nonverbal communication, because it is actually our nonverbal communication which reveals our true personality, right? So thank you so much for the lecture. Thank you so much for listening very patiently to the lecture. I hope that you now the different forms of communication are very clear, and from now on you will be effective communicators. Especially you will focus on your non-verbal communication so that you make the right impressions on your listeners. Thank you so much.
SANDHAN, All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.